Guys, welcome into my NFL Week number 5 picks and predictions, where I predict the score of every NFL game for the upcoming week. And we begin Thursday Night Football. It's going to be Indianapolis coming off that disappointing home loss to Tennessee on the road in Denver. Guys, to me, this game screams Russell Wilson coming out party. Indianapolis, there's dissension within the locker room. They're talking about possibly firing their head coach. Jonathan Taylor listed as questionable at best for this game. Even if he plays, this is the perfect game for Russell Wilson to come out, throw 3 or 4 passing touchdowns. I think Denver wins this game, covers the spread. I am predicting a long Jerry Jeudy, possible 80-yard touchdown. Russell Wilson, Thursday Night Football. Their offense hasn't been gelling, but they did show a little bit of promise last week. Yes, they lost to Vegas. We all knew they would. They're coming back home against an Indianapolis team who I like, but not this week. There's too many unknowns with Indianapolis. I will take Denver, and I will take Russell Wilson to truly have his coming out party with the Denver Broncos at home. They will cover the 3.5-point spread. Moving on to the London Sunday morning game. It is the New York Giants taking on the Green Bay Packers. And guys, Daniel Jones looks like he's not going to play. Rashawn Gary is having an absolute career breakout year for the Packers. The Packers have invested so much into their defense. And guys, the Green Bay Packers offense is only going to get better as Aaron Rodgers continues to gel with these rookie wide receivers. They've still got a great running game. Aaron Jones averaged like 7 yards per carry last week. Yes, it was shocking, the Aaron Rodgers pick six going to overtime against Bailey Zappi. But I will take the Packers. Their defense, they've invested too much. Rashawn Gary is coming on. Jair Alexander, the highest paid corner in the league. Give me the Packers against probably a backup quarterback. And the Giants, they will key in on Saquon Barkley. They will shut him down, and they will win this game in London 28-16. Moving to the 1 o'clock slate, it is the LA Chargers traveling West Coast to East Coast. They will be taking on the Cleveland Browns, coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Atlanta Falcons on the road. And guys, I am picking Jacoby Brissett over Justin Herbert. If only because it's the NFL, right? It's the NFL. Myles Garrett, I would say questionable at best. You know, I would probably actually say he's not going to play in this game. Stefanski said possibly he's out 2 to 4 weeks, but I do like the Browns at home as 3-point underdogs. Their offense, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, the running game. You've got a team in Los Angeles who's very inconsistent. They might get Keenan Allen back. They might not. Joey Bosa, he's probably going to be, out for at least 8 to 10 weeks, they said. So I will take the Browns at home to bounce back. Guys, remember, this is the NFL. There's a lot of parity in this league. The Chargers winning last week, the Browns losing last week. I think the script flips. Browns get a win as the underdog at home. Even without Myles Garrett, I've got them winning 24-23 at home. Moving to the next game, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Buffalo. I believe the Steelers are the biggest underdog. Yeah, they have to be the biggest underdog of the week, with Kenny Pickett making his first career start after throwing, 3 interceptions. He did have 2 rushing touchdowns in the second half of that game. Kind of a weird debut for Kenny Pickett against the Jets. But guys, I think Josh Allen is going to absolutely destroy Pittsburgh. I picked him to win MVP. This is a typical game where you see a guy like Josh Allen load up his stats with 4 or 5 passing touchdowns, maybe a rushing touchdown. Pittsburgh might score late, but I like Buffalo to absolutely trounce Pittsburgh and the over to hit, possibly leading this game 28-0 in the second quarter. Personally, Kenny Pickett, it's a very tough situation, but I like what the Steelers are doing. Kenny Pickett is an older quarterback for a rookie. He's got a lot of experience in college. He should be playing. There's no point in playing Mitch Trubisky. You're not competitive with him. You're not competitive without him. TJ Watt is still out. This was always going to be kind of a rebuilding year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They need to get Kenny Pickett experience. He's got a good stable of receivers. Get him as much experience as possible. But Buffalo, they are 14-point favorites, and I've got them covering that spread and the overhitting in that one. Next, we've got Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears traveling to Minnesota. And guys, it is virtually impossible to pick the Chicago Bears to win a football game like this. I saw a PFF stat where the Bears have the lowest separation among wide receivers along with the highest pressure rate. So just a terrible situation for Justin Fields. I say this literally every week. Everybody tells me on Twitter, on social media, Justin Fields sucks. I say, I don't know if he sucks. He's literally in the worst situation in the NFL. The Chicago Bears went into this season with Byron Pringle as their number 2 wide receiver. This is just malpractice at this point for a young quarterback. So I don't know how good Justin Fields is. It's the worst situation in the NFL. And I do have Minnesota after kind of a close game against Andy Dalton in New Orleans coming back home. They've always seemed to have a solid defense. They get this win. They always play well at home too. They improved to 3-0 at home with a 25-13 win over the Chicago Bears. The Bears only scored 12 points last week with 4 field goals. Moving to the next game, we have the Detroit Lions and their high-powered offense on the road at Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. And guys, to me, this is a typical correction game. You know, whether Brian Hoyer is starting, Bailey Zappi, I will take Bill Belichick against Jared Goff. Jared Goff cannot keep playing this well. The Detroit Lions offense is not going to, average 30 points a game. Let's be real. Bill Belichick will pull something out. They're at home. They will cover the 3-point spread, and they will win this game in a much lower scoring game than anticipated because the Detroit Lions offense is going to come crashing down to earth. This is the week it happens against Bill Belichick. There's so much parity, guys. There's no way Jared Goff and this offense can keep up, averaging 35 points or whatever they're averaging. It is crazy. Give me the Patriots. Give me Bill Belichick. We saw they almost upset Aaron Rodgers. They will win this home game. They will generate enough offense. 21-10. They'll also get a big turnover on Jared Goff, possibly a pick 6. I am predicting that as well. The next 1 o'clock game has Seattle traveling to New Orleans. Seattle coming off that crazy win. How about Seattle? Back-to-back 1 o'clock Eastern games. They play in Detroit, then they move down and they play New Orleans in Louisiana. New Orleans, we don't know what's going on. I am expecting Jameis Winston to be back for this game. He almost played last week, so you would think he'd possibly be back for this one. And I do have this as a parity game. You've got Seattle, a team that, in my opinion, is due to come back down to earth a little bit. New Orleans, on the other hand, the superstar young receiver Chris Olave, even with Andy Dalton, they almost beat Minnesota in London. I will take New Orleans to win this game and cover the spread, the 5-point spread, 31-23, and a little bit of a higher scoring game. Next, we've got Teddy Bridgewater taking on Zach Wilson, and this is why I love the NFL. Guys, in my expert opinion, I have no clue what's going to happen in this game with Teddy Bridgewater versus Zach Wilson. My prediction is a 3-point win for Miami, which is exactly what the spread is. I just have a little bit more faith in Miami's offense. The Jets did get an upset win last week in Pittsburgh, but it was not nearly convincing enough for me. Zach Wilson looked horrible. I know they won, but still, the Jets do have a decent offense. They've got good young talent. Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. I understand that. But Teddy Bridgewater is a veteran. He's kind of similar to Jacoby Brissett. He's similar to Cooper Rush. He's a guy, he's obviously not going to be an elite starter. He can win you a game against a bad football team. And right now, the Jets, in my opinion, even though they are 2-2, they are a bad football team. I will take Teddy Bridgewater in a close game, making one less important turnover than Zach Wilson, getting it done on the road, 24-21. The next 1 o'clock game is going to be Atlanta Coming off their huge home win against the Browns, Cordero Patterson, though, placed on the IR. They will be in Tampa Bay. And guys, Tom Brady, he put up a bunch of garbage time stats. I think that offense is really starting to click. This is going to be a complete blowout for Tampa Bay. They'll cover the spread. Their defense is still really good, especially against the run. It's going to be very tough for Marcus Mariota, guys. This game will be a complete blowout. The over will hit. Those two things I'm guaranteeing. Tampa Bay will blow out Atlanta. Tom Brady, 4 passing touchdowns in my opinion. Again, their offense was starting to click in garbage time. They're going to carry that over against an Atlanta team that really doesn't impress me. I understand they've won some games. Good for them. They've covered some spreads. That's great. They're due for a bad performance. Let's be real, guys. It will happen here. I have Tampa Bay annihilating Atlanta 35-16. The next 1 o'clock game is going to be Tennessee coming off their big win in Indianapolis on the road at the Commanders. The Commanders, horrible loss, 10 points against the Cowboys. But guys, this is the parity game of the week. The Washington Commanders will beat the Tennessee Titans at home as 2.5-point underdogs. The Titans should have lost last week. They got extremely good turnover luck. They were outgained by 130 yards. Ryan Tannehill only threw for like 140. Treylon Burks is injured. Tennessee is losing this game. The Commanders, yes, it was a horrible performance last week, but Carson Wentz comes back home. They have playmakers, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and they will, although Jahad Dotson, I believe, is going to be out, I still like the Commanders to win this game at home. It's a parity game. You've got Tennessee. They've won a few in a row. You've got the Commanders. They're looking bad, right? This is the NFL. We know how it works. That means the Commanders are going to win this game at home. They will win. I've got it at 27-19 as the final there. Next, we've got Houston traveling on the road to Jacksonville. And guys, the thing about it, Houston is going to win a football game at some point. They are. I think they cover this spread, but I am picking Jacksonville to win this game at home. It was a horrible game last week for Trevor Lawrence. 4 lost fumbles. That is epically bad. I think he plays better. Maybe a touchdown pass to Christian Kirk. I think they win this game 26-23 over Houston and Davis Mills, but I do like Houston to cover the spread. And Houston, they're going to win a football game at some point. I know they're 0-3-1, but this is not the week. I do think Jacksonville, as 7-point favorites, pulls this out, maybe in a last-second field goal. Moving to the 4 o'clock window, we've got San Francisco coming off their huge Monday Night Football win against the LA Rams, traveling to Carolina. How about Carolina getting back-to-back 405 games? That's funny, but guys, I don't know how you can bet on Baker Mayfield and this Carolina offense to win this game. I've got it at 28-17. I think Nick Bosa is on a warpath right now. I predicted it before the season. He will win Defensive Player of the Year. San Francisco's good enough. They're really good at every position. Jimmy G is a game manager, but with this offense and how loaded they are around him, that's going to be plenty enough to beat the Carolina Panthers. I've got them winning this game 28-17. Once again, guys, I don't know what the Panthers are going to do. Sam Darnold, they said, is not close to returning. Matt Corral is, already out. Before the season, we knew that. Baker Mayfield, how many weeks do you give him? It is so bad right now with Baker Mayfield. It's not even serviceable. Maybe because it's the NFL, he'll turn it around. But against Nick Bosa and this 49ers defense, it's just a loaded roster. The 49ers have a loaded roster. They will win this game on the road and cover the 5-point spread. Next, we have Philadelphia traveling to Arizona. The Battle of the Birds here. And, Philadelphia, can they really go 5-0? Guys, I think they can. I've got them winning this game 34-24. Arizona, I'm still not buying their offense. I understand they beat Carolina, but there's just something missing with DeAndre Hopkins out. They're really missing that number 1 receiver. James Conner, I'll say it again, he's just simply not good. And you've got a team like Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. It's surprising, but I do have them going to 5-0. They played well against Jacksonville. They were down 14-0. They didn't panic. They end up covering that spread easily, and I think their offense continues to play well in Arizona. Arizona would be falling to 0-3 at home. Pretty crazy, but I think it happens. I like Philadelphia to win that game. Next, we have Dallas on the road in LA to take on the Rams, and Cooper Rush will be starting this game. And guys, Cooper Rush, he's won every game he started. Can that really continue? No, it can't. I have the LA Rams bouncing back after their Monday Night Football loss, winning this game 31-20. LA is too loaded on defense for Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is a good game manager. He'll keep you in the game, but the LA Rams need this win badly. They will bounce back. The Cowboys are still in a good spot. Even if they lose this game, Dak Prescott possibly coming back week 6. We can kind of already see it playing out. Cooper Rush loses, maybe he throws 1 or 2 interceptions, and then Dak Prescott slides right back into that offense, and there'll be no problems with that. I know some people are saying they should stick with Cooper Rush. Dak Prescott is certainly better than Cooper Rush, guys, and I think this week, once Dallas loses, it's going to be a seamless transition back to Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush did a great job saving the Cowboys season, but he will lose this game, and they will transition back to Dak, in my opinion. The 8:20 Sunday Night Football game, it's going to be Joe Burrow at Lamar Jackson. Cincinnati, they're now 2-2. They're on a 2-game win streak, taking on Baltimore, who is also 2-2. I did predict Baltimore to win this division before the season, and right now Baltimore is 0-2 at home. Do I really think they're going to go to 0-3 at home? No, I do not, folks. I have the Baltimore Ravens winning this football game 28-24. Definitely a close game. Baltimore will make one more play. J.K. Dobbins looked really good last week. He looks to be fully healthy. Lamar, it was disappointing, the interception at the 2-yard line or whatever. Buffalo comes back. They were down 20-3. But I also think you look at that game, that just shows you how good Baltimore can be. They were beating the Bills 20-3 and completely dominating them. Josh Allen comes back in a rain game. It is what it is. I like Baltimore to win this division. I said it before the season, and I like them winning this game to go to 3-2. Cincinnati's been good recently. They've won 2 in a row. They're due for a loss. Baltimore will win this game 28-24. The Monday night game, the final game of Week 5, it's going to be the Vegas Raiders after their first win. They're traveling on the road at Mahomes, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And, I have a weird feeling this game could possibly be an upset, but I just cannot predict it, guys. I really can't. The way Mahomes looked, the way that Chiefs offense looked, kind of a weird game where they scored 41 points, but Mahomes only threw for 250 yards because they were winning the whole game. They were just playing ball control. But I do like them against the Raiders. I said the Raiders would win last week. They backed me up. There's just nothing tells me the Raiders are going to win this game. It's not like the Chiefs are this super team or anything like that. But if you're at home, it's Monday night. You're taking on a team like the Raiders. I just can't see Kansas City losing this football game. I've got them 34-21. I like the over in this game. I know the theme with all these primetime games has been the under, but this game certainly I think will go over, so I like Kansas City at home in this matchup. And those are my official NFL Week number 5 picks and predictions. Guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.